I'm here with Jonathan Scurlock from the NFU, who is going to be answering a few questions with us. So, Jonathan, can you just give us a bit of an overview as to what your job is and how it ties in with biomass crops within the UK?
So I'm the Chief Advisor at the NFU headquarters on the topic of renewable energy and climate change. So my job is to have an overview of all the different renewable energy technologies which are accessible to our farmer and grower members.
Right.
So these can be anything from capturing natural energy flows like wind and solar power,
Yep.
but a wide range of bioenergy options. And the bioenergy options themselves, of course, are very many and very varied.
Yep.
It's everything from growing arable crops in rotation, break crops,
Yep.
which could be industrial hemp, to be used for fibre or combustion energy, or anaerobic digester feedstocks, which could be maize or hybrid rye, and then moving into longer term rotations, perennial energy crops.
Yep.
Whether that is miscanthus, which is perhaps a little more familiar to many farmers because at least it's a grass crop and it's harvested on an annual basis using fairly conventional agricultural machinery. Or short rotation coppice willow, which is harvested typically every 3 years. Is a little bit more like a tree crop, but the important thing is the land remains agricultural in that willow rotation, which is generally in place for a period of around 15 to 20 years.
Brilliant. Very knowledgeable. So if you were to rank where bioenergy crops as a whole, so looking at our miscanthus, our willow, and maybe part of AD, but not so much, where would you rank that on terms of sustainability, looking at how we would reach our target of net zero within agriculture?
Well, it's really important that bioenergy is available in addition to the sort of the intermittent variable renewable energy supplies, because bioenergy essentially works like a fuel. It is a crop that you can harvest and then store and then deploy in a dispatchable and flexible way, where indeed the energy services might often be needed to sort of fill in the gaps between the intermittent and variable renewables.
Brilliant. And so what do you think some of the major breakthroughs have been in your time working with bioenergy crops and indeed the whole sort of ecology industry as a whole?
Well, that's a hard one.
Yes.
I think we can definitely say that there's been something of a breakthrough in deployment of anaerobic digestion.
Right.
It moved into quite a steady growth phase with the support from a number of government incentive measures. And it's more or less at the point now where anaerobic digestion now seems to be quite scalable. Everything from relatively small on-farm systems, perhaps more for manure management and nutrient recycle as their principal outputs, up to really large-scale AD, where the aim is to produce as much green gas, biomethane as possible, and also capture and make use of the biogenic carbon dioxide which is co-produced.
So I've been speaking to quite a few people today, and it's the topic of biodigesters come up quite regularly, and in particular the word subsidy. Now, if you felt that subsidies were directed to more bioenergy crops such as willow and miscanthus, do you think it would become more popular than biodigesters?
I think what's really needed to get the market moving in perennial energy crops is just the market pull through from off-takers. So there are definitely opportunities for government policy intervention here, but the intervention really needs to be to try and compel the off-takers to let contracts with farmers and start to pull through the supply, because we've known about perennial energy crops and their virtues for the last 15 to 20 years. The difficulty has been getting the market started up.
And what do you think some of the main things could be to get this market started up, in your opinion?
Well, one possibility is that any combustion power plants which are delivering carbon dioxide removal, going into the territory of negative emissions, greenhouse gas removals, should probably be required to be using a certain proportion of feedstock from domestic resources.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.